Welcome everybody to Game 5 of the Ninja and/or Platinum League Finals. These have been awesome matches, tied up 2-2, and these have just been phenomenal games, haven't they, Raj?
Oh, definitely. We've seen a lot of really creative play, some really interesting strategies from both of these players. SCSaampson spawning here in the bottom left as the blue Zerg, and in the top right looks like mikecookie spawning in. It looks like the map is going to be Zelnaga Caverns this time. The loser in the last game, mikecookie, he's lost the last 2 games, so SCSaampson has all of the momentum right now. mikecookie choosing Zelnaga Caverns, which is a favorite map among a lot of players, just because it seems to be fairly balanced, and it seems to have some really good, even decently long games, even considering it's one of the smaller maps out there.
Yeah, this is a fun map. Anything can happen on it. I've seen super fast games on the first push, and I've seen 45-minute macro games. You know, this map can lead to anything happening on it. I'm really excited to see how these two players do it. The last 2 games have both been very macro styled. The very first 2 games are very quick pushes. The end of the game, so I'm very curious to see what they end up doing on this one.
Looks like mikecookie again going for that 11 pool, his favorite build in this tournament. And SCSaampson again building a 14 extractor, probably going to be followed up very shortly by a 14 pool.
I'm very proud of him actually sticking with his build this time. Last game, he disappointed me greatly when he didn't, but I'm very glad he went with it this time. I have a feeling we're going to see the same thing out of Samson. It's worked for him 2 games in a row almost flawlessly. I mean, it's taken him 20 minutes to win, but that is not a problem as long as you get the win. So I have a feeling we're going to see the lanes into mutas like he has been doing, which has been working very well. It doesn't seem like mikecookie quite has the ability to hold it off.
Yeah, in the last 2 games, SCSaampson has really been able to get that critical mass of mutalisks out to just really steamroll any of the anti-air that mikecookie has been able to throw at him, even with the mutalisks, heavy mutalisk and even with the hydralisks, that is, a heavy hydralisk and roach army. Just in the last 2 games has just been getting dominated by all the mutas that SCSaampson has been able to produce.
And look at the timing by doing that pool first. 100 gas exactly as soon as that spawning pool finishes. And there we go. Speed researching right away. I love how that build is just so perfectly timed. It's such a cool little thing there that players use to get that fast speed, little edge. Hopefully he's able to do a little more damage this time. If Mike goes for a fast expansion, those speedmen should be able to punish it. They should be able to surround it and just destroy it.
Definitely, but it looks like Mike is now putting down an 18 extractor. Maybe just getting a little bit, not quite getting supply blocked as he builds that Roach Warren, getting that supply down to 16. So he's able to build that Queen and pumping it right back up to 18, just in time for this other Overlord to come out. So very interesting play. It's interesting. Now a hatchery, a very early hatchery going down for mikecookie. In this series, we've not seen any of these Zerg players fast expand, which is very interesting, especially on some of the maps, including Securus Plateau, with the incredibly long rush distances. And even the 4v4 map, Metalopolis, spawning on pretty far distances apart by ground. Interesting that none of them have opted to take that fast expansion yet.
It looks like mikecookie doing a little bit of scouting inside Samson's base, but Samson easily kills it with his 8 lings to Mike's 2. And looks like speed's going to be done here in about 5 seconds. I'd love to see if Samson actually went and did some harassment with those 10 speedlings, because they can just do so much damage early on in this game.
Yeah, it looks like a spine crawler is on the way for mikecookie. Going to be able to help out if any of those Zerglings decide to come in, although that positioning not the greatest. SCSaampson, meanwhile, taking his own natural, also very early in comparison to these other games that we've seen today.
Oh yeah, Samson has been very slow to his expansions. A little bit of miss micro there, though, by Samson, who forgot to set his worker rally point right there and just had 6 drones pop at once, and none of them do anything. It looks like one speedling is going to be poking into mikecookie's base, as well as the spine crawlers we have seen every game by mikecookie, moving down to the expansion to try and
good kick caught off guard. One roach here to help defend for mikecookie might be able to help out that spine crawler. Desperately,
if he holds position on the ramp, he might be okay.
Oh, looks like those Zerglings almost got us run off on the Queen. A second Queen popping out, going to be able to shut down this little bit of Zergling harass. Doesn't look like they're even quite going to be able to get that spine crawler before it burrows all the way. So very nice job holding it off by mikecookie. What he really needs to do now is get those 2 bases connected with creep. He's got 2 queens out, both with enough energy to throw down a creep tumor or to vomit larva. Not doing anything, just sitting on that ramp, making sure no Zerglings come by into the base to get a hold of their precious drones.
Yeah, I must say, I actually am a little disappointed with Samson on that attack. He could have easily sniped at least one queen, if not two, but instead he opted for trying to get that spine crawler, and just spine crawlers are so beefy, it just didn't work out for him. Too bad. He had a really good time there to do a lot of damage. It just didn't go too well for him. I wonder if that'll come back to bite him later in the game, just missing that little point where he could have done a lot of damage.
We will see SCSaampson now transferring drones down to his own natural expansion. He definitely has both of these players have gotten both of the gas in their main. We'll have to see what SCSaampson does with his natural. Looks like he's throwing down a couple spine crawlers. If he gets both of those gas early at his natural, it could be a sign of another really heavy Mutalisk play like we've seen in the last two
We
games.
do see the 25 seconds out of 100 done on the Spire, so we definitely do see those Mutalisks coming.
Definitely. Good catch there, Myers. I missed that one.
Yeah, I was wondering if you saw that was down yet, but yeah. So it looks like the Mutalisks are on the way, as well as a layer just starting to morph in by mikecookie. I wonder if he's starting to realize that maybe doing that 10 pool is really starting to hurt his economy later on in the games. But
it's quite possible. Actually, mikecookie does have more drones out than SCSaampson. SCSaampson, of course, opting to build a lot of Zerglings, a lot of Zerglings in that early game, and it probably just has a few more buildings as well than mikecookie. mikecookie opting for that evolution chamber again. Probably going to see another Roach Hydra build out of mikecookie, as players love to get those upgrades for their Roaches and their Hydras.
Yeah, I really like this play by what Samson does here. When he grabs this Spire, he's going to mostly be building Mutalisks for a while, but he has this Roach Warren. It's his panic building, basically. If he needs to get some units out, he has a Roach Warren now, which is big, beefy units. Really good by him just getting that down way before he's probably actually going to use it. It's just a smart thing to have, little security.
Definitely, I'd almost like to see that Roach Warren come down even after the layer gets started. After you can squeeze out just a few more drones maybe in the beginning of the game, just to get a bigger economy up, and then maybe build the Roach Warren a little later if that's the strategy that you're going to do. I don't know. Could be more effective. I don't know. I don't play Zerg. What am I talking about?
And it looks like we do have 6 Mutalisks about to be finished. On a 5 with 3 more on the way, actually. Looks like they're going to go do a little bit of harassment, and mikecookie getting used to this Muta play after 2 games in a row of it. Already has the Spore Crawlers going up in both his Spinner Alliance.
Definitely.
So he should be able to stop these easily. They should be deterred for now, at least.
Great placement on those Spore Crawlers. Really going to get good coverage on both gases and on all the minerals. Although this edge gas could get picked off, the Queen can move forward a little bit and try to discourage the Mutalisks if they try to attack that left gas. But a lot of Zerglings now streaming down the map. Looks like SCSaampson could be gearing up for a pretty big attack at this point, even picking off some Overlords. Oh, and a supply block for mikecookie. This could be bad. There's a lot of units out of his front base. If he doesn't have the supply to build enough units to defend against this, it could be bad. Now throwing down a lot of spine crawlers and spore crawlers to dump some of that supply out and to add to his defenses. Very smart move.
Yeah, that supply block right when you're being attacked, that is the last thing you want to have happen to you when you can't build units at the one time you need to be building them as a Zerg player. It's just a terrible feeling getting the supply block right there by that. But it does look like he has a good amount of Roaches coming out now, which won't help too much with the Mutos. But he does have the Infestors coming out, as well as the upgrade you've been waiting to see, Raj. The Pathogen Glands is also on the way, halfway done now.
Yes, those Pathogen Glands allowing the Infestors to fungal growth the instant they step out of the egg. As a young infestor, I spent much time in these lands fungal growthing Mutalisks. Very effective getting that energy upgrade, especially against Mutalisks. Fungal growth has really been good, although unfortunately mikecookie just hasn't quite had the economy to really follow up on it. We've seen a couple really good fungal growths on the Mutalisks and a couple infestors getting picked off with a lot of energy. So we'll just have to see how well mikookie's control is in this game. He's really getting those infestors out early, letting them build up a lot of energy so that they can really do some damage when those Mutalisks come around.
Oh yeah, the fungal growth, like, even if he doesn't have the Hydras to back it up, 36 damage. I mean, Mutalisks only have 120 hit points. You fungal growth them 4 times and they die. I mean, these infestors almost have enough to do 4 fungal growths between them right now. He could basically bunch up every single Muta and kill them here in about 30 seconds.
Definitely. And now Groove's Spines coming in, finishing up for the Hydras at the Hydra Den. 6 Hydras in production, and mikecookie taking a 3rd expansion. Very, very good to do in all of these games, especially when SCSaampson has gone for the Mutalisks. mikecookie has not been able to take his 3rd, which has really been a big factor in the end game, especially because SCSaampson gets up a lot of Mutalisks, gets up a lot of bases, and then just overruns mikecookie.
Oh! Bad miss micro there by mikecookie, allowing 2 infestors to die to the Mutalisk before one of them got a fungal growth off.